Cross, it doesn't do it again. But we did lose the first half. We're just going to put it out there. The software is horrible. And I've emailed them several times trying to get it fixed, but it just won't get up to date. But anyway, the story up there is there's a cemetery, obviously. It's the eastern side of the St. Philip Cemetery. So that's for native Charlestonians only. Everybody else goes across the street to the western side. That's where John Calhoun is buried. But what they're talking about, there's a sign right inside the eastern gate that basically says, there's no ghost here but the Holy Ghost. They don't want guys like me taking pictures and photos and all that stuff. The reason for that, 1888, a young lady died by the name of Sue Howard Hardy 6 days after her stillborn child. 1987, a young man, photographer, is taking pictures of all of our cemeteries. He's writing a book. He captures a full apparition of a woman wearing a shawl with a baby basket next to her. Just jump right over the curb. Cool. Got a Jeep, right? So, it's 1987, no cell phones, no crazy technology like what we have now. He sends it to Kodak, they can't debunk it either. This picture is like gold for guys like me. So it's actual evidence. You can see it very, very clearly. However, there is a curse on the picture. Females that hold it get the same symptoms like what I told you about a Big John. That's why I don't show it on the tours. In the event we actually have something that links us to that specific story, I have her initials that come up all the time, which Sue Howard Hardy. I've seen that. Just last week, SH showed up as I was telling this story, so Sue Hardy still makes sense. I was like, why would these initials pop up? And if I call her Susan, she will correct me through your spirit box and say Sue.
Where was that? Where was that take place? Over here, or?
That's on this one.
This one right here.
That's the story that they're showing, because I mean, you can't catch a lot of orbs over there as far as depending on what type of camera you have. I have like footage from both of your cameras over that cemetery. Plus I use laser grids and all kinds of stuff when I have larger groups, and we kind of flash them in there and get some pictures. I don't have much evidence over that cemetery. It is just very old. Charles Pinckney is also buried over here, by the way. The husband, Eliza's husband. To get your mindset on pirates, and I can see everybody's getting antsy, like, let's get up and move. You guys see the burning gas lamp past that group back there? Yeah. Maybe not.
I can't see it.
It's just on the other side of the cemetery. That's the pirate house. So it has a big anchor on it. Don't go in his backyard either looking for ghosts. He gets mad. Somebody does live there. That's where Blackbeard's men would actually come off their ships and have a few drinks.
Oh, wow.
They have a place to sleep. That's why it's called the pirate house. So what they did was they actually dug a tunnel underneath the pirate house 1 block away to Dock Street Theater. At the time, it was called Planters Hotel. There was a whorehouse, a playhouse, and a hotel above. So the reason why they went there, obviously, we'll just put it out there, the whorehouse, because they're pirates. And then they went there for the playhouse. Why? Because pirates tie really good knots. They would go work backstage in between bartering with the locals. So again, making a few bucks wherever they could before they got back on their ships. Blackbeard never set foot on our soil. He would stay behind and watch the ships. So now that your mindset is on Blackbeard and all of that craziness, we're going to go talk about Anne Bonny across the street at the Powder Magazine. So if you don't know the story, it's a doozy. So yeah, I'm going to give you guys all kinds of links on this one because she's crazy. Let's go across the street. Where did that Jeep go? Did he just pull off?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He turned.
So first and foremost, we're going to be talking about the buildings over there with the crosses on it, and we are going to get closer to it, but the story I like to tell over here, because you can see the other tours like to get close first. We will stay out of their way as we're investigating and diving in. This will be deep dive, just like we did at the Pinckney Mansion, and you guys will also have access to leave the lot and go into the front of the building to actually get some footage if you'd like. I will stick back here with the spirit boxes. If you want to go up front and see the front too, you guys can. We just stay out of their way. So if there's another tour up there, just wait until you can put your hands in the gates and get some footage of the front yard. So, first off, those aren't crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. So you guys about the big earthquake of 1886. Earthquake bolts are kind of a weird concept. The gist of it is, if we get another earthquake and as buildings get moved around, you can tighten those earthquake bolts up because it's a turnbuckle and it'll straighten your building back up. It's a great concept, just doesn't work. Interesting thing about those, that's the very first set that we put in because that is the oldest government building in Charleston, or on the East Coast. So 1713 is when this building was finished. The reason why we're here is because the building is familiar to Anne Bonny, the pirate I'm about to talk to. But I like to give you the history of this because it's still a history tour. The building is interesting as well. Remember I told you about the Charlestown walls back at Lodge Alley? This is the street where the wall was. This is Cumberland. So it was literally right on the edge of the wall. Not to mention, it's in the corner because it went right past it, started going south towards the battery. Tucked in the corner on purpose because if it gets attacked by the water 3 blocks away, it's going to have a hard time going through the 32-inch thick walls to get to the gunpowder. So in the event that it goes all the way through, blows up the gunpowder, there's sand in the roof from 1712. The gist of that is that it will blow the sand up in the air after the gunpowder explodes and then fall to put out the fire on the gunpowder. Another great theory, just doesn't work. So we had another powder magazine closer to the battery, sand went up, couldn't put out the fire, building burned to the ground. So this one's never been attacked through the 7 different wars that it served in, including the Civil War. Again, I give you all of this history on this place because it took a decade to build this place, and right in the middle of that decade that it was being built is when a young lady moves here. Oh, very historic. So we have the word historic. 1708. Follow me on this. This one's weird. Young lady moves here with her dad and his mistress. The mistress is her mom. I even get it confused sometimes in my head. I have to remember how it goes. The 3 of them are getting away from his wife. You guys with me? Pretty pissed off lady in Ireland? Halfway across the world? No. It's not Olivia. Very interesting that a name showed up here. At all. So, we'll kind of see what happens. So anyway, they land in Charleston. Dad buys a plantation in the Georgetown area. Mom dies pretty quickly. He starts sending the daughter down here, which is to do, the business part of it. So as he's manning the plantation. This building's obviously very familiar to her, that's why we're here. Little mentality on this young lady. Word had it that she actually killed one of her servants with a knife to the belly when she was a child. So I'm just giving you her mentality for the rest of the story. We're going to fast forward past the time that this was finished and go straight over to 1715. That's when pirates are starting to come through here. She falls in love pretty quickly. She's a teenager. So, Dad doesn't approve because she's falling in love with this guy named James Bonny. He's a filthy pirate. The 2 run away to Jamaica, they get married, and Cormac becomes Anne Bonny, the most famous female pirate of the Golden Age. Tropical! We're on it, good. So this might actually be a little bit more active than the Pinckney Mansion, so hopefully I see you typing away, so you're hearing things too, which is good. So, now Anne Cormac is Anne Bonny. This guy that she just married is not who she wanted. This is not the Captain Jack Sparrow kind of mentality. This guy's a coward. He's a privateer. Makes him a spy for the British. This isn't the guy she wanted. She falls in love again. Guy number 2, I'll keep tally. This guy's name is John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. Much cooler name. Has his own ship, has his own crew. She wants to be part of it. He's named Calico Jack because he wears the jackets of the men he kills.
It's a rack of ham.
Rack of ham?
Rack of ham. Rack of ham.
Really?
You said rack.
That's nuts. Are you guys getting that?
No.
It said rack of ham.
Rack of ham.
John Rackham.
Oh,
It's
wow.
actually spelled Rackham.
Yeah.
That's interesting. This is going to be a good one. I'm stoked. All right, so let's get back to it. Now you guys got me all excited. I want to get through the story so you guys can finish up. So, Calico Jack, he wears the jackets of the men he kills. He's very dapper. So, she wants to be part of his crew. Females curse pirate ships. You can't have a girl on a crew. So, he makes a deal with her. You can dress like part of the crew, and you're on it. You're going to be a female in my quarters. So, keep in mind, she's still married to James Bonny this whole time. She's okay with this cross-dressing. Why? Because Dad used to dress her as a boy back in Ireland to hide her away from his wife. So she's okay. She just wants to be a pirate. Let's do this, right? She becomes part of the crew, being a female in his quarters. She eventually gets pregnant. Of course she does. You cannot have a pregnant pirate guy on the crew. He drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby. These are friends of mine. Come back. We'll figure it out later. She has the baby, returns with no baby. We have no idea what happened to the child. She's also dressed like a female. She doesn't care anymore about hiding her gender. This makes Jack mad. Knowing her mentality, She's gonna make him even more mad because that's just who she is. He just captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. She's gonna go flirt with these guys and make him even more angry. The guy she's flirting with reveals his gender to be a female, just like a guy to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack just captured. So we have two females doing the exact same thing. Her name is Mary Reed, like you read a book. Now that we're going on spellings and Rackham, who knows what else Steve's gonna hear for us. So now we have two females doing the same thing. The British find out where they are. They send the entire British fleet after them, trying to capture this one ship. All the men are too drunk down below deck watching the ones they just captured to come up and fight. It's the two ladies fighting back. Obviously, the ship gets captured. Aim's last words to Calico Jack were, "You should have fought like a man instead of going down like a dog," as he's being arrested by the British. So the word dog shows up here quite a bit too. Now, the judge, his name is Nicholas Laws. Yes, another Nick. So if you guys hear or see my name, it's the judge, not me. He wants to see the two men that fought back by themselves. He already tried and hung all the other men, including Calico Jack. They're dead and gone. Two women go in front of the judge. They reveal their gender, trying to save themselves. The judge doesn't care. You're females, who cares? You're still pirates. You're going to hang. "We plead our bellies" was the last thing that they said. Trying to save themselves one last time, meaning they're both claiming to be pregnant. You cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It is illegal. So he says, "Fine, we're going to delay your hanging, send them both back to jail." Dad is here in Charleston with his Irish money. He bails out Anne, brings her back home. She remarries again, guy number 4. We're counting Mary Reed, yes. Has 4 children, dies at the age of 84. Those are common facts among all the books that I read. As far as Mary Reed, she died in the Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. It was probably bumpy and gross and nasty. That was in 1721. So, a couple of things here. I did not give you the date of the trial. It was November 28th, 1720. I will remember that for the rest of my life because the first time I came to this place giving this tour, after I got kicked out of Philly Alley, was November 28th, 2020. The number 300 shows up. It was the exact 300th year anniversary of her trial. Exact to the day. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I didn't even believe this story, just so you guys know. So I was like, let me see what happens. 2 things that I did not give you that I can know for a fact. Everything else is for a game. Ask whatever you guys want to in your spirit boxes. The name of Calico Jack's ship and the name of Anne Bonny's parents. So those 2 I can prove. Anything else you guys get, it's going to be direct answer responses. I've seen you doing more typing, so you're doing a great job getting all those. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to catch them all, and you can forward all of that texting to me. But again, this is fair game. Cameras, if you do want to go in the front of the building, you can. Again, just don't interrupt the other tours. We're going to change out your battery to make sure you have some life left, because I'm sure it's dying pretty quick.
Do you want the temp off again?
No, let's go with it.
Yeah, look, I think it's...
Yeah, you're about to die. So spirit boxes, let's spread out, get them loud and proud. Have you any other words besides tropical that come up? I'm excited about tropical, because that was right on cue.
I remember the name Olivia, Immersion. I don't know what that is.
I am very excited about
We
tropical.
first came over here, it said guilty.
It's, what is it, Walter?
Altar.
No. Altar of a church in
Is the woman here with us today? The one who went to Cuba to get her baby. Have her baby.
It's a weird little building.
It is. What was the woman's name?
Mary Reed might have been one.
Mary Reed, are you here?
Is anybody ready to be caught on tape?
Mary Reed. Mary Reed, make it go blue for 3 seconds.
Shapes and all of that stuff. So again,
All right, cool. So I gotta show you them. I could always forward them to you.
Alright, Stina, that
so over there,
curve just left
your
the
next
front.
pole.
Oh, I was like,
So you know, don't get too.
in my 3.0, I was hoping it would go up.
Now I will tell you with EMF, this is normally a dead zone. If you get a spike of 2.5 or higher, something else is going to give us something very relevant.
I have.
Number 70 maybe?
70. That's how old Liza died. Was when she died. We're only 2 blocks away.
Okay, that's what we kept asking before.
Right. Like, I can't make that. I know we're, you know, a couple blocks away.
Or there.
Yeah, there's a group out front still.
Don't forget Ann. You got Ann Bonnie. You had a 4.3, you said?
Yep.
Good, I can see my own handwriting in here. Still can't believe that thing's been glitching the way it has been.
Yeah, just kind of.
I feel bad. I mean, I've been doing everything I can. I've tried just screen recording it. I've tried, and then it's like poor quality. You know, that camera, like I even updated the camera. I had the older version of it, and then I upgraded to the Pro, thinking it might be within the hardware, and then it's the software started out. You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, he said it's about halfway through, and that's about.
Well, it was fine for like 2.5 weeks. It was running great. I just had to splice video together, not a big deal. And now it starts doing this white glitchy thing, and
It just destroys it.
yeah. Like I don't want to switch the phone because that's like a construction phone. You know, that's why I have it in case you guys drop it. It's still
Yeah.
gonna be able to take the drop. You know what I mean? Plus I've had the casing on it. So again, everything's covered. I just got that phone too. So
That's wild.
I know I've pretty much updated that whole setup because I had a standard S8. That's an S8 active, standard S8, and then it had the FLIR 1 on there. That's a FLIR 1 Pro. So I updated it. It didn't have the dots that move. I really like that feature
Yeah, I
on
see
there. That's
that.
fun. That makes things easy for me because it's giving me the hottest spot and the coldest spot. So it just makes things a whole lot easier. But yeah, it's kind of pissed me off. Like you guys are paying for get all this data and I can't get it back to you.
Yeah, I mean, at least nothing popped up like, oh, we caught this, and then it's like, oh, shit.
Then all of a sudden it's
now,
gone,
now
yeah.
we don't have it.
But I mean, at least you guys still have the audio, obviously, with the recording of the full spectrum. I'm actually going to be tinkering around with the memory on that so I can record it the whole time. It'll just be in different spots, but you'll still have the full 90 to 120 minutes of full spectrum, so that way we're not missing anything.
Oh, nice.
How's your word list coming?
Yeah. Let's go.
Anything?
Not that I've noticed anyway.
I didn't feel the jail didn't bother me at all as far as the
Lead the way.
We went to 7.
Alright. See if old Mary comes to see you. Say her
I
name
told
3
John
times.
to do me a salad. So when I got over there, I wanted to hang out. Like, come on, good old John Calhoun. So
You
bring
got-
somebody over here. You gotta give me a show.
You gotta say her name 3 times now.
Well, are you gonna do that?
What's that?
Are you gonna do it?
What's her name? Mary?
John Calhoun. I
Oh.
told him to do me a salad.
Thought it was Mary.
No, John Calhoun's buried over here.
Who is he?
Huh?
I wonder where. Is it unmarked?
They said it's like right behind this wall. So I asked her, John Calhoun, is that right?
See if old John wants to pop up. Pop in
Come
for a
on, John.
minute.
I brought a friend. Come on. Spiked my thingy. I need over 20. See anything?
No, I'm not picking anything up.
Hmm?
Nothing that I can tell.
He was playing with me.
Did Flint come back?
Nope.
I haven't seen anything now.
Have you not seen anything on there yet?
Nothing that I could determine was crazy. That don't necessarily mean I know what I'm looking for, so.
Huh?
That don't necessarily mean I know what I'm looking for.
No, I mean, I think it's good that it's fact-based, so you can see. It's nothing
2.4.
like really definitive, but I don't know if there really is anything super,
Your list is actually pretty good. Again, with that, we actually have some really good readings. The fact that she's getting anything is what I'm impressed. Have you tried any kind of call and answer with it?
I guess I never really,
I haven't asked any questions.
I mean, I wasn't really like a true believer. I know that my mother used to say she was psychic. I've never felt anything. I mean, the most vivid thing I can remember is
John
being in a
Calhoun.
room and I heard someone call my name.
What was it,
I
Mary
said,
and
"Oh,
Ann?"
I son.
Ah,
It's
yeah, I
like,
think so.
Mary and Ann.
why were you just like right behind me? Like,
Can you
were
please
just
hang out
kinda
with me
in
for
there
a second?
teasing me? Said, why did you do
Say
that?
hi.
They're like, well, we were nowhere near you. I said, well, so you must have just imagined it. No, I heard it pretty clearly. Yeah.
Mary.
That's why I went, because they were in the other part of the house.
Probably just bored.
What's that?
They want us to move on.
Said nope.
It's interesting. I guess especially, I think it's different because you're here so often, so you just
You look at it. Tell it to go up.
can't see the pattern.
Can you go up to something? 20? Anything? Will it go?
See, 5.7.
Okay. Start.
What else you got for us?
20.
Give us a 20. A 20.0.
We're just gonna walking by, they'll be alright too.
Oh my gosh, that would be the best if you could just walk by so Randall can get you. Because he's Mr. Skeptic over here. He doesn't believe anything.
Hold on by.
Nothing's ever happened to him.
I've never scared myself with a mirror.
I have. If that makes your day, John Calhoun. I looked in the mirror today. And I screamed at myself. Probably not one to have a giggle though. I understand. I apologize, but it was really funny.
I haven't seen them walk by.
What, were you over here? 7? Was that a 7 or a 5? I can't remember.
What do you say, so side?
Orbs are usually quick, but not
Most of them I've seen like move intelligently in different directions. So if it's going in one direction, I usually get
There when I said I will stop laughing.
So they give you a little bit of a hint. Mirror, lady in the mirror.
this is a dead zone. Normally it's nothing. Like the kids will go up, like if I have that, because I have another EMF too that's standard.
Right
one.
when I
they'll
said,
all go around
I
the
said
light going,
show
"It's
Megan
really
a
high
fun
over here,"
game,
like,
and I
"It's
was
electrical."
like, I went to Snapchat it.
Jumped.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gonna
So
show
right
Megan a
next
fun
to,
game
on
again?
the other side of this building, I'm sure you noticed the little house that was over there. That's the Nicholas Trot House.
You said once.
He was the first Chief
Yeah.
Justice of the United States. Interesting
3.3?
thing, they call it the Nicholas Trot House.
Hold on, let me record it if you want to play a game. She wants to see it.
Over where Dockston Theater is now.
20 first house.
19 point something.
Stuff here has much more history than just having the first Chief Justice house living there, so they put it on to the So, again, it's a tiny little house with a big piece of history. Really not a place that you have any kind of not to mention, my
Got a little spike.
I'm so free. That was awesome. She's like, I'm posting this on Facebook. Alright, let's go gather up over here. We got lots going on.
Keep it recording, Nick, or no?
Yeah, you guys can stop your recording.
We'll stop it.
I'm going to go over the list just because there is so much there. As I started going through this, I started realizing how much was actually in there. This is a very extensive list. So as of, I'm going to start the most recent. We have, they both got the word secret, so that was interesting. Oh my God, I'm losing names. Trish, right? Liz. Liz was actually teaching me about Blackbeard's Castle, something I knew nothing about. So the word castle showed up because that was the first thing that came up for her. We did get the number 70 over here, which is the age of Eliza Pinckney's death. So we are 2 blocks away this way. So still relatively close, very specific number. I am going to count it. So that is pretty cool. Tropical, we talked about. Historic, obviously. Guilty was a big deal, obviously because of the trial. The word yard, as I'm telling you about the losers that come over the courtyard, then over to the cemetery. We have the word yard, then the word attorney. Ralph Isaacs, the opponent to the doctor, was an attorney. So
I got clerk.
you got clerk as well? Yep. We talked about the word wrote. Again, this is a very extensive list. I'm going to have a lot to type up for you guys in the morning. I think that about covers it. I do have to go into those names, but like as of late, since we started coming up Cumberland Street, that's when the extent started to really pour through. So I'm pretty impressed. And if there's any way you can get me the list that you have,
No, text it.
yeah, whatever you got to do. But with that, like, we might have some orb going on with the front of the Pinckney Mansion site too. We already know that we lost at least the first half of this video, so fingers crossed we don't lose the back half. And hopefully it's there. Very good spike of 19.2 in this location. Again, this is a dead zone. I'm stoked. That is a big deal here. Dead zone most of the time. Lucky to get it over 1, let alone 19. So on your normal K2 meters, that's almost like that's the first red, not the last red. So it's up there. So that's pretty high. I'm just letting this run as I kind of give you the rest of this. Oh, the names of the
ship?
The ship was the Kingston. So
Oh, you got King something.
Did you get King?
You got King
Like
something.
King, Wasp King.
Wasp King.
Because I don't normally expect Kingston to come through.
That's also the capital of Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
So I was.
That's why I named the boat, probably, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
And well, he stole it.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was probably already named. And then Anne Bonny's parents were William Cormack and Mary Brennan. So we have a secondary Mary. I told you my stories always have duplicate names of different people. So again, if we didn't hear a Mary, but we guys put the clues together of the 17 and the 20. So he heard 17 and 20 separately. That was the year of the trial. Like, we can't make this stuff up, guys. It's legit. So Liz kind of confessed a little bit that she was a little skeptical. Did I have any other skeptics here? I didn't feel like I did. I felt like everybody was pretty much in tune. I didn't even feel like you were. Like, you were pretty on top of things too. But I think, like, between what we got on the back half, I don't know why it mixed up that. I told you, full moons are weird. So, again, I never know what I'm going to get anyway. But full moons, I'm like, oh, we'll see what happens. I don't want to say I loathe going out on a full moon because I don't normally have activity, but you guys brought me a good bunch on the back half. I'm going to start collecting devices at this point, and then you guys can ask me a million questions, and then I'll get you guys back to your cars because I, of course, didn't drop you off at the start. Where did you guys all park? Did you guys Uber?